you so much for joining this webinar. We'll be starting the webinar very shortly, in another 2-3 minutes. Poonam ma'am, shall we begin with the session?
Yes, I am for this, but I think Muskan was saying that we are waiting for one more speaker.
Okay, okay,
Just talk to Muskan if you need to.
okay. I think Parag is here. He would be knowing.
Yeah, hello, hi, good afternoon, everyone. So yes, yeah, hi, ma'am. Our both speakers are here. Siddhanta is also here, and Priyanka is also here.
Okay. So shall we begin with the session?
Yeah, sure.
Definitely, ma'am.
Okay. Over to Akriti.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. I, Akriti, on behalf of COMHUB, the Commerce Society of Dyal Singh Evening College, feel honored to have you all here in this webinar on the topic Study Abroad, Roadmap to Your Dream University. Are you willing to study overseas but lack a roadmap and vision for the same? Well, today we aim to clear most of your queries through this insightful webinar organized in collaboration with AdmitCard. I would like to welcome our guest speakers, Ms. Priyanka Bhargava, Business Head Premium Counseling AdmitCard. We also have with us Mr. Siddhant Sagar, MSc in Business Analytics, University of Edinburgh. My heartiest welcome to all the respected teachers and participants who have joined us in this session. Before moving ahead, I would like to request you all to maintain the discipline during the meeting. All of you are requested to post your doubts and queries in the chat box. They will be answered in the end. Keeply kind your mics and cameras off unless told otherwise. Now, I request Teacher Coordinator Nancy Rao ma'am to introduce us to the guest speakers for today.
Thank you, Akriti. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Studying abroad is a trend that existed for ages and has only gained more and more popularity with time. Students from every field have a scope to study in a foreign country. Today, studying from the best universities across the globe is a dream of millions of Indian students. However, moving out of one's own country is one of the most significant transitions in the entire life cycle of a student. This requires a lot of planning and, of course, an appropriate execution. A very good afternoon and a warm welcome to our respected Principal Sir, Dr. Pawan Kumar Sharma, faculty members, and my dear students. I, Nancy Rao, on behalf of COMHUB, Commerce Society of Dyal Singh Evening College, takes this opportunity to welcome our esteemed guest speakers, Mr. Siddhant Sagar and Ms. Priyanka Bhargav, who have joined us for this webinar on Study Abroad, our roadmap to your dream university. Mr. Siddhant Sagar is working as a project manager and aviation analyst for the International Bureau of Aviation. He has done MSc in Business Analytics from University of Edinburgh, Scotland, BSc Mathematics Honours from Dyal Singh College, University of Delhi. He holds experience in the field of business process modeling, machine learning, data science, multi-criteria decision making, operational research, and many more. He is the recipient of the prestigious Edinburgh Award and was the university topper. He is a part of Royal Statistical Society of UK and is an active member of Multi-Criteria Decision Making Society. He has been publishing research papers dealing with topics like aviation, artificial intelligence for the Winter Simulation Conference. He is currently researching on using analytics to enhance sustainability in aviation industry. He is also consultant for multiple companies from industries like automotive, aviation, retail, sports, hospitality, etc. He is also an active speaker on soft skills, career guidance, studying abroad for students. Apart from this, Mr. Sagar is a passionate musician and a core team volunteer for a spiritual organization. We welcome you, Mr. Siddhant. We also have with us Ms. Priyanka Bhargav, who is a business head, premium counseling at Admit Card. She possesses more than 10 years of extensive industry experience. Having done her master's in international business from University of Greenwich, London, she holds a first-hand insight into the entire gamut of study abroad admission process. She has an impeccable university placement record, including the top-notch global universities such as Stanford, University of California, Los Angeles, Berkeley, Cambridge, New York University, University of Toronto, University of British Columbia, Rice University, University of Hong Kong, and several others. As we look up to an enriching session ahead, I request our guest speakers to please begin with the session. Over to you. Thank you so much.
Before you guys begin, I have a request to make to both the guest speakers. So you guys can just tell us when to move ahead with the PPT slides so that we're on the same pace.
Sure. Before I think begin with how Admit Card can really help out students in realizing their dream of studying abroad. I think I would request Siddhant if he can share his whole experience of studying abroad. Since he's also supposedly your senior from the same college, and how his journey has been from this college all the way to Edinburgh.
Wow, thank you, Priyanka. Wow, that's a question which can be answered in, I don't know, from 10 words to 10,000 probably, but I'll keep it short. I'll try to keep it short. So yeah, I graduated from DO in 2019, and and then I started off with my master's in 2019 itself. I think I moved out of India. Yeah, that's what I got done with my exams in April, May. I think that's when we used to have our exams. And in August, I was already in Edinburgh starting off with my master's. All in all, it has been an amazing experience. I think I've learned a lot. That 1 year of my master's, from doing your daily chores, from like cooking, washing, to regularly attending classes, and like being present and completing assignments in time, to interacting with people from different nationalities. I mean, it sounds cool and all, but at certain level, it's challenging. It's fun. Challenging in the way that you come out of your own comfort zone. It's very easy to go out and look for other fellow Indians and talk to them in your local language, and have our own local food. But it's kind of challenging when you talk to people with different places, and that's when I think the real learning comes into play, as they say. Like, if you want to learn, you come out of a comfort zone and stuff like that. So all in all, to answer your question in small, it has been a great, amazing, beautiful journey full of learnings and knowledge, and I really wish if I could repeat it, I would do so.
Right. And also, I think not just actually one, a couple of reasons why you feel like that an education abroad is recommended.
Mm-hmm.
And how is it different from what we study here?
Okay, so I'll keep this very simple and very honest here. So me being graduated from DU, I mean, let's be serious. I mean, I think in DO we are paying the lowest tuition fee in comparison to any other university in India, right? And for that, the infrastructure we get. I mean, I remember we used to fight during our college ki पंखे के नीचे कौन बैठेगा during our examinations, right? Because I used to sweat a lot and stuff like that. At गर्मी में exam हो, then like बुरा हाल हो जाता था. So first of all, yeah. So infrastructure is a massive difference. It is a massive difference. Other than that, I think one major difference what I felt was the platform which it provided you, because it's like you get to meet people who who are at the same level as you or probably higher, or you get to meet a certain level of people from whom you can kind of learn a lot. Really cherish that it happened.
Right. Right. So nice. Siddhant and the other teachers here, Nancy ma'am, if you don't have the a plan or a suggested plan for the webinar, how I plan to do this is I would like to make it a little more interactive, and I'd like all the other students to ask questions instead of us delivering something. Would that be okay with everyone?
Yeah, that suits me. As long as it's more effective, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I feel like I'd like to answer what the students really want to know. So, if the students have questions, they can post it in the message box, and we'd love to answer those questions for them.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
आ जाओ मारियो, आ जाओ, कम लो, आओ.
Priyanka, I think 45 minutes we have kept specifically for your presentation and 15 minutes for the specific questions which students will have. Because they
Okay.
want to have insight into what this foreign education is, what courses are there. They want to have an insight into studying abroad. And after that, I think they'll have certain questions.
Sure, we could do that as well. Not an issue. So, do we have more students here from the commerce background?
Yes,
All of them from commerce background.
most of them are from commerce background.
Right. Okay. So, Siddhant, would you like to introduce them to how you've gone about choosing the courses?
Yeah, I think I'll take 10-15 minutes here if that's fine. I can
Yeah.
walk you all through my journey if that can probably help you all,
Sure.
right? Okay, so I think I'll actually go back till from my I'll start from my high school if that's fine with you guys. Yeah. So because I think a lot of it kind of comes from there. So in my high school, I wasn't sure what I really wanted to do. Okay. I was just knowing that I didn't want to do engineering, and I had science in my pocket. So the only and I had a great love for numbers. Okay. So that's when I went for mathematics honors. I'm not gonna get into too much detail of how my bachelor's was, but because I'm sure you would be having a couple of maths honor students, so you can talk to them directly about it. But during my masters, during my bachelor's, during my maths honors, I realized कि जो मेरा course है, it is it is very theoretical and it is related to a lot of pure mathematics, and my interest lied in applied side of it, right? So what was plan B? Plan B was ya to I do so what usually people do after maths honors, of course that's what you see, right? You don't follow your own passion first, you see what's happening around. Ideally you should be following your own passion. So I saw that people after maths honors, they're giving jams, they're going for masters in mathematics, masters in OR. But then did I really want to do that? I was quite unsure of it. So I thought, okay, what all options do I have? I was like, okay, so there's I can sit for placements, I can write an entrance exam, I can go for MBA, I can for and I can and last option was maybe I can go abroad. Why not, right? Because it sounds cool. So first option, entrance. First option, entrance. I just wasn't sure if I want to go for it, because I realized that my passion for maths is not it's not what I'm going to be getting if I go into that side of mathematics, because it's pure and my interest lies in applied, where like the practical application of mathematics is happening. So that option got ruled out. However, having said that, there are still one or two courses which are pretty good, which are just too competitive, and I personally am someone who's not like a exam person. I'm more of a logical and just get stuff done. I'm more of that kind of a person. I'll be very honest here. Okay, so first option ruled out. Second was placements. Being very honest, I realized that the placements are not very good. Okay, I mean they are, but they're not paying you. I personally felt that I deserve more than what I'll be paid for, right? So placements also dropped. Third option was what was the third option? MBA. Now this is an interesting one. So I started with my CAT coaching, and I realized that okay, what if I clear my CAT, I get into an IIM, how much would I be spending? Okay, about 20 to 25 lakhs. Okay, got it. That's going to be my tuition fee, because IIMs are priced at that level. What am I going to be coming out with? I'm going to be coming out with an MBA degree after 2 years. That will be 2021. What are going to be the skills that I'm going to be having? Okay, I'm going to be having a couple of skills like making presentations and Excel sheets and whatnot and stuff like that. Okay, what is the package that I'm going to be getting once I'm getting out? Average package is about 12 to 18 lakhs, something like that. These were the figures that I had then. I don't know how is it like now. Okay. Why I'm saying this, it's not that I'm too old, it's just because pandemic happened and pandemic has changed the world, so a lot of things have changed, right? So just in case, sorry I'm interrupting, I'm breaking here. If you want कि मैं हिंदी में बोलूं, just drop in a text and I'll be making it English. Okay, it's possible कि people might prefer Hindi. So yeah, so MBA. So I actually started off with my CAT coaching, and during my CAT classes I realized कि यार हर इंसान तो MBA है इंडिया के कॉर्पोरेट सेक्टर में. Everyone's an MBA, and will I be like part of the same rat race which I didn't want to be a part of, and hence I didn't do engineering? That sort of a question came to my mind, and I realized that the world is like booming and things are like booming up, this data thing, AI and all. So end of the day, even if I have a management degree, I need a specialization for which I need to do another course. So why should I do two courses? So these were the questions that I had in my mind. And of course, I was paying 20-25 lakhs. That's not less, yeah. Because I think the only MBA institute which is quite reasonably priced, I'll say, is FMS, which is highly competitive. So that's when I started looking into abroad education. And my brother was already in Australia. He was doing his master's and PhD, and he used to, like boom me up, like, come on, Sid, you got to apply and stuff like that. So I started seeing institutes, and I shortlisted a couple of, so yeah, now this is where the question comes in. The first question, what do I really want to do? Okay, so it's a very important question. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't have slides, but I'm going to be using my hands for slide demonstration. So if you guys want, you can make notes from this. So first question, what do I really want to do? This is a very important question, because trust me, if you're spending 20, 25, let's say 30, 40 lakhs, and you're not really doing what you want to do, but you're doing something that the world is willing you to do, you're going to be doomed, man. I mean, seriously, you've got to pursue what you really want to do. It's really important. And I feel it now. Okay. By I feel it now means I actually did what I wanted to do. Okay, so I'm really happy that way. So first thing, realize what you want to do. So I realized, okay, I love numbers. I hate coding. I just can't code. Actually, no, I can code, but I don't want to code. Okay, there's a difference. I can do Python, I can do C++, I can do Java, I can do all these things, but I'm not someone who loves coding. Like there are some people out there who are like, oh, I want to code and stuff like that. That's definitely not me, but I can understand what's there. I am someone who has a good business acumen, is what I figured out from myself. So I realized, okay, I want some this sort of a course, like typical होता ना जिसको कहते हैं काम करने वाला, like just काम करवा के खत्म, something related to product management, that side of it, with a specialization in data and stuff like that, with a background, with a strong background in mathematics. So I started looking out courses. Now here's the big thing. I'm still on point one. Yeah, is a big thing. Different universities have different names for different courses. And different courses in different universities are being served by different schools. This is very important. Okay, so you've got to realize this importance, this difference. So it's highly recommended that whenever you're looking for courses, whenever you land to a university page, just read every bit of what the course has to offer. I know it's probably going to be like a 2-page document with each text in a 10-point size. It's going to be, it can be like too much to read, but do read about it, and it's really important. Okay, so based on that, I realized that okay, yeah, so what course I want to do, I figured that out. Okay, then second step, what are the universities that are offering the course? Okay, made a list of it, of all the countries. I mean, let's be very honest. Okay, beggars can't be choosers, right? I was in the position of getting a university. I can't be like, oh no, mujhe ye chahiye, ye nahi chal sakta, types and all. Okay, so make a list of all the countries which are giving you the courses. Be very organized in this. It's a highly suggested thing because each country has their own system. Make an Excel sheet if possible. Like university course, application deadline, tuition fees, and between university and course, add a column called country. It's very important, right? So do that. Third, okay, so I've listed down all the universities. Third, what are the countries that I can go to? No, there are factors like, there's a thing called financial affordability, of course. Okay, you have to see if you can afford this country. It's a 2-year course, so definitely the fees is going to be doubled. UK, let's say for example, UK has a kind of a more, it's a higher cost of living. Can you see that? Ireland is good, but it's a 1.5, something like that. So you've got to see those economic terms. Okay, so some people might have like their relatives staying in one country, so they'll be like, oh, you know what, I've got an offer from UK, but my relatives staying in Australia, so if I go and stay with them, my living is sorted, so I don't have to pay for my living. So that's a very major factor for us middle class families, right? For many of us out there. So based on that, you select the country. Okay, that's very important. When you're listing down the universities, do see the rankings also. I know many people ask you that if rankings matter or not. I tell you one thing, that universities ranking. Okay, actually, I'll come to this later. Okay, if I suggest you to one of you, if you can ask me in the Q&A later on, if rankings matter, I'll take that up there. Okay, I'll come to that one. Anyway, so country decided. Now list down. Okay, now don't be restricted to one country. That's very important. Don't be. Just list down. Be flexible. Okay. Again, go by the logic. Beggars can't be choosers. Okay. Third country. Third is application deadline, and fourth is what are the documents that are required. So based on these things, just gather everything and start applying. I'll add a disclaimer here. This is a complete 1-year-long process from you starting to look for what you really want to do, you discovering what you want to do, to you actually boarding the flight and going to that very place. It is almost a 1-year-long process, almost. Okay, so plan it accordingly. If you're in your second year right now, if you're someone like me who didn't want to take a gap year, I think this is the time you actually start discovering and looking into yourself, that what you really want to do, and start your research accordingly. So okay, now in my case, I had a list of 10 universities. I was very sure, okay, now this is my based on my personal this thing, don't get affected by it. This is a very personal thing. I didn't want to go to US because I couldn't have afforded US. Okay, I couldn't have. Um, I couldn't have afforded Australia either, but my brother was staying there, so I considered Australia. So based on this, I listed down 10 countries, 10 universities. Uh, uh, you'll be shocked to know I actually looked a university up in Israel as well, because they've got amazing research work, and I was really into their work and stuff like that based on my field. So I had that in my mind too. So that's another suggestion, regarding the rankings. But don't, I mean, it's a very subjective thing. See rankings, but see the research output. That's really important. Okay. But it's okay. I mean, Israel, I can understand. Not many people would relate to it. I mean, I was crazy out there, so it's fine. So, yeah. So based on that, yeah, I made my list and applied to 10 universities. I got a call from 9 of them. Edinburgh was the only university I'd applied to in UK, which I kind of have a small regret about, because I was certain that my profile was eligible for Imperial and all as well. But then I'm like, I'm fine with it. I mean, London would have been pretty costly in comparison to Edinburgh, but I'm happy that way. So it's very important. That's where my research kind of lacked a bit, and I have a small regret about it, but then I'm fine with it. I mean, as long as I'm working here, so that's fine. So yeah, then I applied, gathered all the documents, and all this was happening during my 2018 to 2019 phase. That is my second year, my fifth semester to sixth semester phase. Okay, this is where all the working and applications were happening. So I think I applied to Edinburgh in January 2019, and I got my offer letter on 14th April 2019. I remember the dates. I don't know why. And uske baad, it's the visa process which comes into play, and which the university kind of supports you with. And if you're applying through admit card, they're going to be guiding you, of course, about it as to how to go about it. And definitely, again, as I said in the previous points, if you're looking out for universities, definitely people like admit card and all, they'll be really helpful, in terms of giving you a list of all the universities can you look at. So yeah, that happened, and then I went to Edinburgh. Now Edinburgh University had a different case. It's like, as soon as you apply, the business school which was offering me the course, they automatically applied on my behalf for a business school scholarship. Lucky I was that I got one, but it doesn't happen for all the universities. Every university has a different scholarship system. So if you're into scholarships, looking for that, check out what kind of scholarships are the universities offering. One important note, universities don't offer more than 50% of scholarships. They don't. It's 50% is also like very rare. Okay, I don't know how I got it. I still have a feeling कि उन्होंने मेरा रिकॉर्ड ना किसी और के साथ मिक्स मैच कर दिया, तो उन्होंने मेरे को 50% दे दिया, but I got it anyway. So but there are some 100% scholarships as well, which are given by our kind Indian government. Do check them out. It's the Commonwealth and the Chevening Scholarship. I couldn't have applied for them because the dates had passed. So do check them out too. And yeah, then that's when the journey starts. And coming back to point one, where I said don't lose your passion and be very clear of what you want to do. I have always been someone who loved aviation, and somehow or the other, so much so that I even applied for Indian Air Force, but I couldn't clear it because of a flat foot. Sorry to say that, but when I came here, I got an opportunity to be a part of the aviation field. I loved numbers. By chance, the company, International Bureau of Aviation, that I'm working for, my work is related to both numbers and aviation. So I'm happy. I mean, it's like too good to be true kind of situation where I am in right now. So hence, I'm going to conclude this whole story to point one. Just sit back and decide what you really want to do and pursue that. Don't go by what the world is demanding you to, because eventually you will make big out of it. So yeah, sorry Priyanka, I took longer than expected there.
No problem. Thank you, Siddhant. So I think Siddhant has put through the entire process very beautifully. So I'll just kind of elaborate on some bits. I think he mentioned that how you need to prepare yourself almost a year in advance, and it's very important to understand that starting early is the key. A lot of our students do not understand that why, as a consultant or as a counselor, I would, or admit card would push you to start early is because we one want to ensure that you have all the options open for you, not just in terms of universities, but also in terms of all the countries, and also scholarships. The scholarships are mostly, the sooner you apply, the more chances you have to, get into a good school along with a scholarship. He correctly mentioned that uh, not all universities offer a scholarship, and not all scholarships consider you automatically with your application. So, of course, the process expert that you will have at Admit Card, once you're enrolled with Admit Card, will definitely take that into consideration. As far as Akriti, can you move a slide further?
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
And the next, yeah, this one. So basically, this is going to be your, in short, this is the journey with Admit Card, where once you're enrolled with the Admit Card, once you get in touch with Admit Card, you're assigned a process expert who's first going to help you, who's going to evaluate your profile and help you build on that profile, depending on the time that you have in hand. So, like we said, that if you have about a year in hand, then we tell you additional activities that you must do to in order to build your profile and to make it stronger. Moving on, then we help you do the university shortlisting. Now for us, we right now we are able to use our AI based platform, which gives us the suggestions based on your profile and based on the past experiences that we have, that what kind of universities that you should apply to. And you're able to see all of that on the dashboard, for which a login ID and a password is created for each student. After that, once you have gotten your shortlisting, you can actually discuss and your shortlist, and then with your process expert, and end up finalizing 5, 7, 8, whatever number of universities you finally want to apply to. And then you move on to brainstorming and editing. So when we say brainstorming and editing, it's mostly about the statement of purpose, the SOP that you need to write. And each university could ask for a different question. In case you're applying to a business school, you may not have an SOP, you may have essay questions. Now these essay questions could be about your long term goal, your short term goal, or and it could have a certain word count or a word limit attached to it, right? So it's always easier to write an essay, I believe, uh, in about 800 words. But if a question is asked, and if you're asked to answer it in 150 words, then that becomes really, really tough. To answer something in a really short word limit is very tough. So that's where our team of editors and the process experts will help you in brainstorming the right ideas and highlighting the right aspects of your profile into your application, right? Moving on to the application assistance, wherein you're actually filling out your applications and following the right timelines and ensuring that your application is filled in with the correct details. And then moving on to, finally, once you have your offers in hand, then you will of course need to apply for your visas, and then you have your value added services, including your loans and finding the right accommodation, etc. So that's your entire journey with Admit Card, and that's how Admit Card can help you out. Akriti, if you can move forward to the next slide, please.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
So this is more in detail how I've talked about. And after that, you could also share the same document with the students as well, for them to be able to go through it. And if they have questions, you can reach back to us,
Yeah, we surely do that, ma'am.
right? Also, Admit Card also has their mentors who are around the world in different universities. So these are students who are already studying or have already graduated from their respective courses and are currently currently working. Siddhant is, of course, one of our mentors. And, so for example, if you wanted to, let's say you wanted to go to Edinburgh and wanted to do an exact same program that Siddhant is doing, then there's no one better than Siddhant who could tell you. So similarly, let's say if someone is aiming for, let's say, a Stanford and wants to do an MBA at Stanford, then we could connect you to an MBA grad from Stanford, and they could tell you how exactly it is to be at that university and what the experience is like. So you can get that first hand knowledge from them. So from in that process, you're also connected to one of those mentors who will help you, guide you through as well, right? So just to sort of does anyone have questions at the moment?
Ma'am, there are no questions in the chat box yet, but I'll announce them in the end, though if we have any. Oh, there is one question, ma'am. Ranking of UNIS important.
Yeah, so I think that's for Siddhant. Siddhant's ranking of universities, is it important? I think you mentioned.
Yeah. So I think it's like yeah, I invited this question. So anyway, so ranking of universities, I'll say it is important, yes, but is should that be like the main criteria or the first criteria? I won't say yes to that. Okay, so why? Because there are a couple of what is the word? There are a couple of underdog universities out there who don't really promote themselves. Okay, but their research and their teaching, I mean, sorry for the language, but it's bloody good. It's like really, really good, and they're like on the top when it comes to research and all. But they don't advertise it enough. So it will be really good if you can yourself and as well as seek help from mentors that Admit Card would provide you to get insights on these universities as well. So that's one thing. Okay. Second thing, every time you're looking at rankings, don't just look at QS or THE and just go for top universities in the world, okay, stuff like that. No, look out for master courses, look out for business school, look out for how the schools are ranked across the world. Look at it from three four different perspectives. Okay, I'll give a very small example. As I said in the first part of the presentation, that um, different universities sell their courses in different names. Okay, that's a very important point, because if there's a course, let's say in MSc in robotics and data science, let's say, okay, now that university, if it's a university which on global level, if it's ranked at, let's say, 1,000, okay, but this particular course is being provided by this particular university only. So if you see course wise ranking, this university will come on top because there's no other university that's providing the course. So that's what, use your brains there, use multiple perspectives, and set up different platforms to judge which university to go for. So my ideal suggestion is, see the university ranking, see the business, see the school ranking which is giving you the course. Okay, it's very important. And again, as I said, not all universities, like for a given course, not all, it's never like the same school is giving you the course for a university. The schools can vary. Like my course, in some university it was being given by the business school, in some it was given by the informatics school, in some it was given by the mathematics school as well, right? So do your research from that part as well. Third, regarding rankings, I'll give you a small example here. Okay, if you graduate from a, let's consider UK only, okay, for that matter. If you graduate from a university, let's say from a good university, from a very good university, let's say Lancaster in UK, okay, it's considered to be one of the prime universities in the UK. You'll get a good job, your prospects are high. But if you graduate from a university, let's say Oxford or Cambridge or Imperial, it's not just UK, but the whole world knows about it. Do you get it? That's the difference that ranking can play. So play your cards smartly there. Rankings make a difference, but do they make like the main, does like everything depend on them? No, not really. So that's gonna be my subjective answer to it. That's why I said kismet thoda lamba jayega, so remind me about it. Hence, yeah. So that's it.
So one more thing, just to add to this, I think Sure, rankings are not super important, but I think when all of you are making a choice as to which university to go on, I think I would place more importance on the curriculum than the ranking. Okay. Each one of us, I think each one of us has heard of Harvard, but and everyone says, I want to go to Harvard, I want to go to Harvard. But each one of us should also know that Harvard is not an engineering school. If I want to do a computer science program, I shouldn't go to Harvard. And if I want to do a medical or a law program, I should go to Harvard, right? If I'm doing a
Exactly.
computer science engineering and I'm at Harvard, that absolutely has, I wouldn't say no value, but has really little value, as opposed to,
Exactly.
maybe doing an engineering from, let's say, for that matter, a Purdue, which is in the US, which is much, much lower than Harvard in terms of reputation and ranking, but overall reputation and ranking, but is a brilliant school for computer science and engineering, right? So I think it is more about curriculum, right? So as Siddhant rightly mentioned, that business analytics could be offered by School of Informatics, Business School, and Mathematics, or the School of or the Statistics School as well, right? So I need to choose which school I want to go to, what I want to study. I think it's bringing us back to what he said in the starting. Be clear on what you really want to do, right? So what are you really going for? If you have that clarity, go for the curriculum, don't go by the rankings. So if you're literally going by the rankings, you're literally going in the rat race. Okay.
Yep, that's very rightly said. Yep.
So
We have a
Utkarsh
few.
has one question:
Yeah.
any language hindrances abroad? So Utkarsh,
Uh,
I
yep.
think, yeah,
Sorry.
Siddharth, go on. Yeah.
Uh, I think it varies from country to country to answer your question. But if they are asking, I mean, if a university is asking you to submit a TOEFL exam or a IELTS exam or those sort of bits, and if you're going there for masters, then and if you know English, I don't think you would be having much of a problem, frankly speaking. Uh, that will be my short answer to that question.
Right. So I think I agree. There are no as long as you can speak Hindi and English, I don't think there's a language hindrance really. Unless you're going to an Italy or a France and the or Germany, where the program is taught in their local language, wherein you will require to have a language proficiency exam of their own language, like a German C2, B2 at least, right? So I think that's the only time that a language could be a problem. Other than that, it's not a problem. Ritik asks if we can pursue an IT based course after graduation from BA background. Ritik, there's no easy way of answering this, but or a nicer way of answering it, but it's highly unlikely that you will get in from a BA background into an IT based course, because I think you will not be able to justify why you want to do IT after a BA background. Right. Pratibha is asking, MBA in some countries require 2 years of work experience. That's correct. Uh, what if your mind changes after a while? Is it worth it to take that risk? Pratibha, I actually didn't understand what is the risk here. You mean if you continue to work and you drop the idea of doing an MBA, is that what you're asking? Uh, so if you do, if your, I mean, if your mind changes, you would have anyways worked, right? I mean, if your mind changes and if you do drop the idea of doing an MBA, then you would have anyways worked. Or do you think you want to do a freshers MBA? Because there are countries that do definitely do take you on a freshers MBA as well. There are tons of universities in UK and in Australia and in Ireland that would take you on a freshers MBA without any work experience as well. However, some of the top ranked universities will require you to have a minimum of 2 years of work experience before you can enroll yourself in an MBA program. So Ritik, you're asking, would it be possible if supported by a BCA degree along with it? Sure, like a
Uh,
yeah, I think
yeah,
having a
sorry,
BCA
sorry.
degree would be easier. Yeah, would make it easier. However, with the BCA degree, which is going to be a 3-year degree, you would only be eligible for countries that would accept a 12 plus 3, which is a 15-year of education, which would mean a US and a Canada would probably be out of question, and Germany as well. So you would be able to look at Ireland, UK, and Australia. Okay. Studying abroad, Pulkit is asking, studying abroad is considered to be costly, whether it is from Canada or any other, in comparison to India. Is it true, or is there any other ways too in consideration of scholarship if applicable? Siddhant, would you like to answer this?
Yeah, I would like to actually. Pulkit, if you remember, I mentioned something about me having started off with my CAT coaching and CAT preparation and realizing that MBA in India is going to be costing me about 20 to 25 lakhs. I did mention that, mentioned about that. I'll tell you honestly, had I not gotten my scholarship in Edinburgh, the whole course, including my living, in 2020, 2019 to 2020 would have costed me about 30 lakhs. Okay. Now, here's the comparison. Graduating from an IIM is going to be costing about 20 to 25 lakhs. Edinburgh, 30 lakhs. This IIM is a 2-year program. Edinburgh was a 1-year program. Uh, Third would be IIM is known to Indians, definitely. Edinburgh is known to the world. So the world gets open to you. In IIM, you would be studying with fellow Indians and fellow engineers and stuff like that. In Edinburgh, your class would be shared by but like my class had about people from 25 nationalities. So here are the odds. Okay, you compare these and then make a call. Now there's one counter which people usually tell me is कि यार इंडिया में 2 साल का I'm paying 25 lakhs and in UK में 1 साल का 25 lakhs हूँ तो UK तो महंगा पड़ रहा है ना. So my simple question to them is, dude, why are you seeing the timeline? Just see the degree, right? You're getting a master's for 25 here and you're getting a master's for 30 here. Timeline is what is timeline? Just see the degree, right? That's what you're coming here for. So to answer your question, if you calculate it wisely, coming abroad can actually be cheaper. So that will be my answer to that.
Okay, sure. Anyone else who has more questions? Great. So, in addition to being able to help you out with your application process, Admit Card can also help you with all your test preparation requirements, be it your IELTS, TOEFLs that you may need help with. Along with that, if you need help with your GMATs or your GREs as well, so we would be happy to help you with that as well. So I think your coordinators can share the details as well. I think Hia is asking us if Admit Card provide IELTS coaching. Yes, here we do, and the details can be shared with your coordinators, and you can take it from them. Um, do you have advice for some students who don't want to take financial help from their parents? Siddhant, would you want to answer something like this?
Uh, yes, I would actually. So I'm forgetting the name. I'm not really sure. So there are a couple of it's like so when you apply for a loan, you pay back with interest, right? That's a thing. So I think the average is about between 9 to 10% or 8.5 to 10%. That's like the interest that you usually pay. Now there are a couple of cases in which you don't have to pay the interest bit. So and it's almost considered to be like a scholarship only because being waived off from the interest part of it. So there's one called Prodigy, I believe. So in that, you just apply for it. You actually have to like apply for it with a proper essay and stuff like that, if I'm not wrong. And once you clear it, they are very sure, they're very clear about it that only the student would be paying the thing after the graduation is done. So they only start taking money from you once you have your degree in your hand. So that way you can actually avoid taking financial help from your parents. Otherwise, definitely, I mean, this goes without saying, I mean, take loan, but be very clear that you're going to be paying the EMIs once you get a job. So that's definitely one thing. And I mean, yeah, that's the only thing that I can think of right now. And probably scholarships can also help you if you're lucky enough. If you have a strong profile, you can probably get 100% scholarship from the government funded programs, and that way you don't even have to spend a single penny. So yeah, there are three, four ways to go about it.
Sure. Just to add to this, Pratibha, there are, apart from internal scholarships which are given by the universities for various countries, there are also a lot of organizations, Indian organizations and organizations abroad that give out scholarships to students who are applying for various levels of studies. Some of these organization names that I can remember. I don't know if any of you have heard of the Aga Khan Scholarship or the Narottam Sheksaria or the Fulbright Nehru. So these are all at different levels, and at Admit Card again we look at the eligibility check and we make them apply as well. So again, there are some countries where 100% scholarship or a fully funded masters is also available. It may not be true in case of UK, Ireland, sometimes even Australia, but depending on how your profile is, US is bigger on giving scholarships because of the how wealthy its alumni base is, and in general the universities are wealthier than the others. That would be one. And like Siddhant mentioned, Prodigy again, we are Prodigy Finance is also one of our partners at Admit Card, so we would be also be able to help you out with that as well. So yeah, there are a couple of ways, but again, the key would be starting early so that we can explore as many options as possible with enough time in hand.
I think there's another question by Pratibha.
Pratibha, sure, you can reach out to us. I think Nancy ma'am and Akriti and your other coordinators would have the details of how you can reach out to us.
Sure, ma'am.
So Akriti, will there be any other questions?
We do have another question by Ritik. He's asking, is double graduation degrees considered good or bad while applying to study abroad? Like one degree from regular college, another one from distant learning.
So Ritik, do you mean both done at the same time? And both, you mean like doing a let's say a BCom pass from SOL and then doing another regular degree? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, so only one degree can be considered at a time. Both degrees, especially at the same level, will not be considered at the same time.
Right, thank you, ma'am. So probably we're not expecting any more questions. So
Sure.
thank
If
you.
there are any questions, you can please reach out to Parag and we'd be happy to send out responses for those as well.
Yeah, most definitely, ma'am. So we can call it off now, I guess. Or like if you want to add up something.
Can I add one thing, please?
Yeah, please, for sure.
All of you are, since you're in Dyal Singh, I mean, I'm from the same college, so I can just tell you one thing. Dude, please don't think that third year या second year या first year कि अभी बस पढ़ाई पढ़ाई करनी है. Please get into cultural activities. Trust me, they boost your CV, they boost your profile, they boost your SOPs like anything, okay? Like anything. And I'm telling you from my experience, like I was a musician, I was a president of Dyal Singh's Music Society, okay, when I was studying, okay. So, and I was also part of the theater and all those things. So I know the way it has helped me. I mean, my score was a decent score. I don't know. I mean, you guys are coming from BCom. I think BS. I mean, yeah, mine was a decent score. It wasn't like the best of the best. I wasn't topping the class in my bachelor's. So that's all I'm saying. If you think that marks are your like up to like key priority, I would suggest, as long as it's above 7.5, it's good. But that's what, just one suggestion. If you're applying to universities, I think Priyanka would back me up here. See, 100 लोग एक यूनिवर्सिटी को अप्लाई करेंगे, वो एलिजिबिलिटी देख के ही अप्लाई करेंगे, राइट? So all those are equally at par with you. So what should you have that the university gets you? Will be those extracurricular activities. Okay, so add those to your profile somehow or the other. Make your profile unique from these people who are applying out there. Your end of the day, it's a very competitive place. You have to stand out. So do get into these activities and make sure that you're able to present them in your SOPs. That's where admit card would definitely be helping you, but to have that on your profile, you have to do them first, is all I'm saying. And other than that, also, like here, as I'm just gonna suggest you, like I know people come here and work part-time to make their livelihood. You must have heard from your relatives and friends who come abroad for education that we were working part-time to make our livelihood. I'm not kidding. I'm a tabla player. I'm not boasting also. They used to work 10 hours to earn something. I used to just perform one gig for half an hour and used to earn the same amount. You're getting the difference. Talent if you have these hobbies and talents, they are really, really, really valued abroad. So don't compromise on them. Have them, keep them strong, and dedicate some time to it. And I'm telling you, I'm giving you my word, it'll really boost your profile like anything. These people really value it. That's all I wanted to add.
I agree. Thank you, guys. All the best. Hope to see a lot of you on our admit card portal, and hope we can help you achieve your study abroad dream. So, Akriti, over to you, and please let us know how we can help.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. I'm honored to get the opportunity to present the vote of thanks for the webinar. A special thanks to our guest speakers, Ms. Priyanka Bhargava and Mr. Siddhant Sagar, for taking out time from their busy schedule to deliver this illuminating and insightful webinar. Honorable shout out to Mr. Parag because of his coordination the webinar happened in the first place. It was an immensely informative session. I thank all the respected teachers, also including our senior teachers who joined and the non-teaching staff and the organizing team for their unfettered support and coordination. A heartfelt thanks to our students for their active participation. I'd also like to inform you all that the webinar was live on YouTube. I thank all the YouTube viewers. With these warm words, we move to the end of today's webinar. Thank you all for joining in.
Thank you.
I think Parag
Yes,
will share the details about admit card with Akriti, and Akriti can further share it with the students.
Definitely, ma'am. I'll do the same.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for joining the webinar. Thank you, Priyanka, Siddhant, Parag, Akriti.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Great pleasure.
sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Siddhanta.
No worries. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. Everyone, take care. Bye bye.
Bye, guys. Take
Bye
care.
bye.